Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching video. In this video, I'm going to be doing something that I probably should not be doing, and I am going to be working on one project that was a recent new start, which is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio, and I have very little progress done on that wherever it is around me because I just literally filmed my last video. So here's my progress on Halloween Quaker. It's just tiny. And so I want to work on this. I would like to at least get, there's I think a house in this bottom corner, get that house filled in a little bit and then switch projects. This one is on the fabric Deadly Blooms. It's an 18 count. I am stitching 1 over 1 full cross. And I'm going to work on this, and then I think I'm going to have a few more new starts, which I think I might start this chart here, King of Hearts and Stitches by Tiny Modernist. It's a nice, cute little pattern, and I have this fabric here that I think might be big enough. And so I might have this as another new start. And then I also am going to be starting the chart that I had wanted to start originally when I went on vacation, but I just didn't have the time. And that is Enchanting Unicorn from this book here, Fantasy Cross Stitch from NeedleLotDesigns. And this is one that my daughter really wants me to stitch. She saw this and she fell in love with the unicorn. She also fell in love with the a rabbit that is back here. So I need to do the unicorn and then this rabbit for her called Rabbit Druid. But I'm going to do the unicorn first. And I'm planning on doing the unicorn on this fabric here from the sewingshop.ca, and this fabric is called Ursula's Domain, and it's I think a 32 count. So I have a lot of things that I would like to get done. I also have a knitting project that I would like to start, and so if I start that, I will also show you what pattern I end up picking because I have a few different tops that I would like to knit with this yarn, and so I need to narrow it down of which one I want. And so when that finally happens, I will, give you the details, show you the start. And I also might start this, which is a Little House Needleworks, the bookstore. Me and my sister both got this pattern on vacation, and I thought it was perfect because we both love books. We have like a little family book club where we will pick a book, and it's my sisters are both in it, my brother, and then my mom, and we read a good book, read a bad book sometimes, and I feel like the bad books almost give us more to talk about because it's like, why did they do this? Like the last book we read was I think called Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. My brother hated it. And so yeah, it was so funny just hearing him be like, I'm reading this book, but I'm not liking it. I'm not gonna have a good time. I'm gonna finish it, but I don't want to. And yeah, he hated Daisy Darker, which I didn't mind that book. It is a murder thrillery type book. A girl is with her family and the house they're in is in the water to where when the tide comes in, you can't leave. So at night you're trapped in this house and people in her family start dying, and they were there for her grandma's 80th birthday. And so it's who's killing people in this house? And he hated it. I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine. I think my mom said that she enjoyed it. And so yeah, Daisy Darker. Interesting book. But anyway, so yeah, we like bookstores, we like reading, and so we both got this pattern. I would need to see what fabric I have for it, but it's a small piece and so a piece of fabric will be easy to find most likely. So anyways, the first thing I'm going to work on is Halloween Quaker, and I will be back once I have an update and once I switch projects. I also was thinking about bringing back that little bin thing that I used in one of my videos where it was kind of if you watch any book whatever videos, they will do sometimes a TBR where they pick it out of a jar and they call it their TBR jar, which TBR is to be read. And then it will have prompts. And so they'll pick a thing out. That was a loud slap. They'll pick a thing out and it will be something with a dragon, something like this. And so I was thinking though, I might throw in just all my new starts and then pick them out. And then it will kind of tell me where to go this week because I don't know what I want to do first because there's a lot to do. And so yeah, I might do that, or I might put everything onto a wheel and just spin the wheel of what to work on every day. Will I get a new start? Will I work on Halloween Quaker? And so I think I'm going to do a wheel. I'm going to do a wheel just because that is easier. So I think I'm gonna do a wheel, and anyways, tomorrow I will most likely spin the wheel to pick something else, but today I'm going to start off by doing Halloween Quaker. I am back with my first update, and I have been working on Halloween Quaker. I have been working on it for a couple days, but I haven't done a ton of stitching on it, so yeah, be prepared. It's not a ton, but here it is. I have finished the tree down at the bottom. I stitched the moon, and then I also started on the house. And so it's fun seeing like the details come out. And it's also just fun the fact that when you work on small projects, you actually can like finish a tree relatively fast, whereas on like a full coverage it takes forever to get like a tree finished or something like that. So yeah, it's fun to actually like see things appearing already, but I am ready to switch projects, and so I am going to be spinning a wheel. And so I put Halloween Quakers on the wheel, and I also put some of the things that I want to start on the wheel. So we will see what the wheel picks, and I will insert the video somewhere of my wheel spin. It is spinning right now on my tablet. And we got Enchanting Unicorn, which is the chart that is from the fantasy cross-stitch book by NeedleLotDesigns. And that is one that I already have it all together. I just need to find where I have my fabric real quick. Here is my fabric for this chart. It's a 32 count called Ursula's Domain from theSewingShop.ca, and I am looking forward to starting this, but I'm also kind of like nervous because I feel like I don't very often stitch on linen, and so it looks really small. I mean, I do like 25 and 28 count for full coverage, but I'm not normally doing, like I said, linen. You know, you've got like the it's not even, you know, you got like the slubby bits and all that, and trying to stitch over two. I feel like counting over two, I'm always scared that I'm going to mess up my counting and be off somewhere, but I'm excited to get started on this chart, and I will be back once I am ready to switch projects. Anyways, but yeah, I'll be back when I'm ready for the next wheel spin and to show off my start on Enchanting Unicorn. It is now the next day, and I have done my stitching on Enchanting Unicorn, and this one is going so fast, it seems like. So here is my progress. I started this was in the middle, near the middle of the chart, and so I decided I would do the unicorn's head first, which it's coming along very nicely. And like I said, it just seems like it doesn't take that long, and you've already got like a head and the unicorn, the horn. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one, but I am going to be spinning the wheel to pick a different project for today. And on my wheel, I took off Enchanting Unicorn for right now, just because I just worked on it yesterday. And so on my wheel, I have Halloween Quaker, and then two other possible starts, which I have over here. So we have the King of Hearts and Stitches, or the Little House Needleworks bookstore. So these two could possibly get picked. And now I will spin the wheel and see what I will be working on for today. And then after I spin the wheel today, I will take off whatever was picked today, and then I will add back in Enchanting Unicorn for tomorrow. And we have King of Hearts and Stitches. So this one right here, which is from Tiny Modernist, and I am so excited to work on this. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it on this fabric. I still need to like double check the measurements, but I think it will fit on this fabric because it is really small. So right here it says that on a, what fabric is this? This is a 28 count. Okay, so it says that on 28 count or 14 count, it will be 5 by 7, and this fabric is 8 by 11. So it will fit. I just won't have a lot of border, which I am fine with. So I'm going to be starting this. Oh, the colors on this one are gorgeous. And like I said, I think it will go amazing on this fabric. I've also been looking through my fabric to see what I want to put other things on. And so one thing I think I decided is that for the Hometown Holiday, I think I'm going to put it on this pink fabric here, and I'm going to change the colors. So this is supposed to be like a holiday bookstore, so it's got like kind of like snowflakes in the background. I think I'm going to leave off the snowflakes, and I think I'm going to change the colors. So the bookstore is ecru in the background, and I think I'm going to change that because I have a whole bunch of sulky threads from a different project. And so I'm going to change the colors of the bookstore to work on this, like, what color is this called? Tropical pink. I'm going to change them to make it work on the tropical pink. And I also want to try and like make it less holiday and more just like a year-round bookstore. So that's going to be coming later whenever it gets picked on my wheel. I also was looking, I don't have it on my wheel right now for new starts, but after I finish one of these projects here, whenever that happens, I do want to eventually start Hobbit House because I completely forgot that I bought this like a year or two ago. And I was looking at fabrics and I think it would fit on this fabric here, which it's hard to tell, but this has like a green tint to it, and this is a fabric from the sewingshop.ca, and it came in the ornament bundle that came with my mystery project bag that I got at Christmas time one year. So this is one that I would like to start eventually, and I'm just talking about a lot of plans right now. So what I think I'm going to do is, so this week I'm doing like a week of where I'm doing some like new starts, which like I know I should not be doing new starts if I want to whip down. And then I think next week's video I will be doing spring stitching. I want to work on projects that have flowers because it is currently spring where I am, flowers. And so I want to do like spring stitching with some flowers. And then the week after that, I think I'm going to do working on projects I want to finish. And so that will have Merry Mushroom Village Picnic number 3, and it will also be working on all of like these like little small ones that are easily able to be finished because, you know, this one, like I said, it's only 5 by 7 inches. This is pretty small. This is fairly small. Halloween Quaker is bigger, but it's not full coverage, so, you know, it's smallish. And so I think that's going to be my plan for the next few weeks. So at the end of the month, I think I might do like a week of working on things I want to finish like every month. And that way that will hopefully give me some more cross stitch finishes because currently with so many large projects, I almost never have finishes. And I really do like to have finishes of small things that I can add to my wall back here. So anyways, I'm going to go get started on King of Hearts and Stitches, and I will be back once I have some progress on this chart. I am back and I have a couple of days worth of progress on this chart, which was, I think, King of, what is it called? King of Hearts and Stitches. So I did not want to quit working on this, and so like I said, I kept it out a couple days because I was just having a good time stitching on it. I love the fabric choice, which it's called, I think, Lavender Sunset, and I looked it up and I think the brand is Witchelt. And yeah, I'm just enjoying it. It's a 28 count fabric. I love the color. I might go and buy more because I just love the color. And then I also love the colors that are charted. So I'm using all of the charted colors. This is a chart from Tiny Modernist and it's just turning out so cute. And it's also relatively small. So here's the pattern again in case, you know, you don't remember what it looked like. So this is already like the whole top width of the chart, so we already know how wide it's gonna be, which is good because I don't have a lot of border, so I don't really have any room for it to go any farther at the top. But yeah, I love this. But now I'm going to spin the wheel and I'm going to pick what I will work on next. I took King of Hearts and Stitches off of my wheel since I just worked on it. I put back on Enchanting Unicorn, so we will spin the wheel and see what I end up working on. It will either be one of the 2 charts that I have already started, or it will be a new start. It is Enchanting Unicorn, so I will grab Enchanting Unicorn and show you where I am at currently on that chart. Here is Enchanting Unicorn. I am excited to work on this one again because I really want to get the rest of the face filled in and then also start working, you know, on like the rest of its body so it's not just a floating head. So I will get to working on this chart and then I'll be back possibly tomorrow, which is Friday. We will see. And I really would, I'm hoping that I end up getting the bookstore chart on the wheel. If it doesn't get spun on the wheel, I might just start it myself because I do really want to start this holiday bookstore, which I'm going to make it not holiday by removing the snowflakes, changing the colors, and stitching it on this pink fabric. So I am going to go get to stitching and I will be back once I have done some work on my unicorn. I am back and I have two projects to show. So first I will show Enchanting Unicorn because that is the project you knew that I was going to be working on. And I worked on this for a couple of days because I was just really enjoying seeing the unicorn coming together. Like, it's amazing how fast this seems to be going. And I think what I want to do is I want to try and finish filling in. There's like some more like florally, viney bits over on this side of the unicorn. And then I will work my way over to the other half because this is like the halfway point. This chart is in a book, and so like this first half is on one page and then the other half is on another page. So I almost have one page of this already finished and I haven't even been working on it that long. So I love it. It's so cute. It's a little unicorn and I cannot wait to stitch more charts out of this book because like the colors just are working out great and it's all charted amazing. And I can't wait to do, because like I'm already mentioned, I need to do rabbit druids for my daughter. And then there was other ones that I liked for myself that were in the front of the book. So there was like there was different categories in the book, and there was a lot that I liked that were at the front of the book. There was like a dragon, there was one that had like a knight and a castle, and so there's a lot of things in there that I would like to stitch. And so yeah, I just need to get this one done first. Anyways, there's my unicorn. I am enjoying it, and it will be put away for like this coming up week because I already mentioned I think that I'm going to be doing a week of stitching on spring full coverage, so charts that have flowers and remind me of spring. And so this will be put away, but it will come out at the end of the month because I think we still will have another week in May. And then I'm going to be working on charts that I would like to finish, and since this is a small chart, it is something that I would like to finish and could possibly be finished this year, hopefully. And then I ended up having another new start. I did not spin the wheel. I just decided I want to start this, and so I will just not spin the wheel and I'll just start it. And that is the Little House Needleworks bookshop. And I wanted to start this partly because I am changing colors. So I know it's going to take me a little bit to figure out like the color situation. I have this bag here which has a whole bunch of sulky threads that I have used on previous projects. I have used it on, I did a Alice in Wonderland stitch along from Owl Forest Embroidery, and I used sulky threads. And I also bought some because I wanted to do a long dog in sulky, but then I ended up not using the sulky for the long dog. So I have a whole bunch of these threads. This bag also has some leftovers from other things. Like I think I have some leftover from a Mirabilia. So I have some of this water lilies here. And so yeah, I'm just trying to use some of like my leftover bits and bobs and, you know, not keep buying new things when I have like a whole bunch of flosses laying around. So I'm changing colors, and I'm also trying to figure out what's going to work best on the pink fabric. So this is my start so far. I did find a color for the roof of the bookshop, and then I spent a little bit of time yesterday ripping out this color here because the bookstore was charted to be like the actual building part is ecru, and I don't want to do ecru. I was like, that's kind of boring, especially on this fabric, and I was really wanting to do like a variegated. And so first I tried this one here, which I love the colors in this, but there is a pink that was too similar to this fabric, and so I stitched a line of it. I was like, this is not going to work because it's too close. And so then I tried this red here, if it will focus. I tried this red, but the tone of it was also just too close to the fabric that it wasn't really standing out. I tried this green, which also has some blue, and I wasn't really loving it. And so then I finally settled on this one, which is like a gray that goes to like a white cream color. And I thought this would be good, and it will make it look more like kind of like, you know, not all buildings are just like one solid color. Like I prefer it if it's not just one solid color. And so I really liked the look of this one. It gives it like a little like stripey effect. You know, is it bricks? Is it like a dirty white building? I don't know. Anyways, so this was my little start on the bookstore, and I am enjoying it. This fabric is incredibly see-through though, so like I'm gonna have to be really careful carrying threads on the back so that things don't show through. I am not used to fabric being like so see-through, but it's fine. I am enjoying it, and that will come out later towards the end of the month again when I do my week of projects I would like to finish. So, and then I have all this floss to go through. Like I said, there's so many sulky colors that I have here that I really just want to try and use. It's also nice because, real quick, I was going to mention, so this is a 28 count fabric. Sulky is a thicker weight than DMC, and so I am only using one strand on the 28 count, and I feel like the coverage is pretty good, and it's also really nice stitching with just one strand and not two, because two can sometimes get, like, you know, twisted and tangly and not lay right, so one strand is very nice on the 28 count. So that is all of the cross stitching. I will talk about knitting real quick. I only have one project that I was working on, and I ended up working on it quite a bit one day because I was watching the show that I've mentioned before, The Pursuit of Jade, which I have to read because it doesn't have English dub. And so I was watching that and I needed something that I could work on, and I can knit and read relatively well. So I was working on my socks. I wanted just an easy pattern to work on, and so I have not started the knit top that I keep talking about, but I did work on my socks. And I have a heel, and this is a German short row heel. I think I was using the pattern from a book. I bought a knitting book on my Kindle, and it's by Summer Lee, and she has two books out, and it's the first one. I can't remember. One of them is called The Sock Obsession. I think that might be the one I have. I don't remember. And it's nice because in her book she has just like a whole bunch of heels. So like the afterthought heel, there's a forethought heel, the German short row, the heel flap, which I normally do, and then she also gives a pattern for a toe up sock, which has a different heel. And so there are a lot of different heel patterns in the book, plus it also has a lot of different sock patterns in terms of, like, there's some color work socks and other things like that. There's some socks with cables, and so there's a lot that I can knit from that book, and so I'm really excited to try some different socks. And so I have a heel done, and I actually have another heel done. I did both of my heels. They're both done! Yay! And the yarn that I'm using is from Knitted Wit, and it's not available any longer because I think they went out of business, and it is the color Death to Sexism, which I just love, like the blacks and the pinks. It is very fun. I'm also kind of scared of like working with a solid black yarn. I have a solid black yarn to make socks, and I am kind of scared to do that just because dark stitches, you know, they're not the easiest to see. Anyway, so I have both my heels done. Now I just need to do the foot and then the toe, and then they will be done. Yay! Which is nice because, like, I haven't made socks in a while, and so that heel goes really quick. I feel like the German short row heel. I feel like the other heel can take a lot longer when you have to do the heel flap and turn and then the gusset, and I feel like it takes a long time to get back to where you're at, like your normal amount of stitches and doing the foot part. So that's what I got done for my knitting. I bought a pattern for the top that I want to make using my pink yarn, which is back here. I cannot remember. I'm like unrolling this ball right now. I can't remember the name of the pattern I got though. It's in French. And it means, like, it translates to bay leaf is what the pattern said. And so, like, the top of it, you're doing like a lace design, and it's supposed to resemble bay leaves, but I cannot remember what the word was in French. I probably wouldn't be able to like pronounce it correctly either, but I'll insert the picture of the top that I ended up purchasing. I really just need to get my needles out and then try to do like a little gauge swatch to make sure that I can hit gauge, or, you know, change things around so that I hit gauge. So that will be hopefully starting soon, especially once I get my socks finished, because then I'm going to need another easy-ish knitting pattern. I still am working on my knit skirt. It's taking forever. I should have picked a shorter skirt and it would have not taken long. I've actually thought about, like, what if I just do some decreases and then we make this a short skirt that just is voluminous, you know? But I don't know. It's taking so long. Anyways, that is all that I have for this video. I need to go and pull out all my spring charts so that I can get ready for my spring stitching and record my intro for that video, and I will see you all then. Thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!